All right, y'all. Breaking news out of Athens, Georgia from one Jake Fromm, right? Who Mouth called the General. Enjoyed watching this cat play the last 3 seasons. A very mercurial cat, a lightning rod for criticism, but one, if you actually understand college football or football in general, you would know how good this kid is. But obviously, people are going to come in here and poo-poo on the kid. But your man has announced via his own release that he is going pro. I have decided that it's time for me to take on the next challenge in my life and pursue my lifelong dream of playing in the NFL. Man, that's it's kind of weird right there, right? I would think that somebody like Jake Fromm, from everything that I've been told and that I know about the kid, is that he's not a big NFL guy as far as like watching the NFL and everything like that. So it just goes to show you the allure of professional sports can even get a guy like this. And you would have to think that if you're thinking logically, despite the rough patch that he hit in this season, the NFL, like I told you before, thinks way differently than fans do. They're not going to look at some stretch of games. They're going to look at the entire body of work. They're going to look at the type of offense that you played in, the type of your highs as well as your lows, right? They're going to take into account the highs. They're going to see that, hey, man, he wasn't playing with as much talent, playing with a lot of talent that was inexperienced. Also having guys like a Lawrence Cager, who you would think on some of these teams, like if you're judging him like you're judging Joe Burrow, a guy like Lawrence Cager probably will be the 5th receiver on LSU. But that was his number 1 receiver. A guy like George Pickens, going to be a super all-world talent, but he was a true freshman. So a lot of things surrounding that could have led to, and not to mention to gloss over the offensive coordinator. Has not had success as an offensive coordinator, as a play caller, very rudimentary in that development as well. But man, it is what it is. I love it from the standpoint that I want to see him to take the next chapter in his life. I'm actually tired of talking about Jake Fromm just for the fact that he gets disrespected a lot. And I'm a real cat out there, man. I don't like disrespect in any form or fashion when I feel like somebody is doing their job and they're doing it very well, like I thought he was doing. So, man, with that being said, as for the University of Georgia, it's still the University of Georgia. They're going to have to look beyond the guys that they already have on the roster. Some of the young guys coming in of a DeJuan Mathis, Carson Beck, and Stetson Bennett. And I've had some information on that already for some names to watch out for. I had a real good scoop over the weekend that I was told from a real reliable source for one guy in particular to look out for. Yeah, so make sure you're at Committed to the G, right? Patreon.com/Committed to the G. We can talk about this in further detail over there. But as far as Jake Fromm in the NFL, I think he's going to do very well, right? You would have to think he got a first-round draft grade for him to be coming out right now, right? Think about that, right? So no matter what you said about that, I have the hard time believing that this guy would come out right now if he got a draft grade to say 3rd round or something crazy like some of these people were saying. He's a first-round talent. A lot of the comparisons to Aaron Murray and everything, I don't think that's just. I just think he's just on a different level. And his pre-snap recognition and his ability to control the game with his mind and everything like that has to be taken into account. And I think that he'll do very well. So there are some needy teams of some quarterbacks in this particular draft. After Joe Burrow, of course, the first pick. And then you have guys like, Jacob Eason. Tua, of course. Tua and Joe Burrow, without a doubt, better than Jake Fromm, at least as far as this year goes with the production and everything like that. But after those 2 guys, man, it's a toss-up. I don't think Jacob Eason or Justin Herbert is just flat out better than Jake Fromm. I think that he'll give those guys a run for their money, and it's going to be various quarterbacks taken in the first round anyway. So I'll have more on this, but I wanted to kind of get that out there and kind of gauge what you guys are thinking out there to a certain degree. Please don't be disrespectful to this kid because I just blocked you up off the channel. You guys got to relax with the disrespect on some of you dudes that never even played football before, and you be disrespecting some of these guys who are light years ahead of what you can even dream of doing in your own life. So take that for what it's worth, all right? Also, a source hit me up about more breaking news out of Athens, Georgia that is absolutely nuts. And that would be one Cade Mays. Cade Mays is Georgia's, I would say, next star lineman, perhaps. He did not have as good a season as he had his true freshman season here in his true sophomore season. He looked kind of exposed in the Baylor game as well, but we know for him to be a superstar talent, a 5-star guy out of Tennessee, right? That was a great recruiting win for them. A source tells me about it. I'm gonna go ahead and use this kid right here to kind of corroborate it right here. Matt Zenitz, very talented. I believe he works for AL.com. Very talented journalist in his own right here. And he says that Georgia offensive lineman Cade Mays has entered the transfer portal. Former 5-star recruit, started 11 games this year. And yeah, he definitely did that, man. He started all over the offensive line. He even got a chance to play a little bit of center. He was the backup at just about every single spot this season and in rotation at the right guard spot primarily. Oh, man. I don't know what to say with that. Even with Cade Mays coming back, I thought the offensive line was kind of in trouble next season with the early departure of Solomon Kinley, right? You had Isaiah Wilson, Andrew Thomas. You could essentially have, 4/5 of your offensive line gone all in one season, right? And all of them to early departures or transfers. That takes the shape, that molds a team to me. That's what Georgia is about, right? Above anything else, you say running back, you and all this, what makes that go is that offensive line. That can change the scope of the entire team. I'm telling you this right now. This is crazy. So Georgia's going to have to really get on its horse and really try to circumvent that. Hopefully they can keep, well, I don't have a dog in the fight, to be honest with you. So for you guys' sake out there watching this, hopefully they can keep Cade Mays in the fold. Being able to work on that. You have Broad Jones, a 5-star offensive lineman that is kind of in limbo, right? Does he stay? Does he sign in the second signing period? Does he go to another school? A lot of questions to be answered right there, man. And you got to say that with the type of talent that Florida is bringing back and Tennessee getting better and some of these teams over there, that next year's college football is going to be even more exciting than this year because you just don't know on both sides of the equation as far as the SEC goes, SEC West, SEC East, like a clear favorite. Like, who's the clear favorite for that? You would still have to say Georgia's extremely talented, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But, man, you lose Jake Fromm and 4/5 of your offensive line and your star running back and DeAndre Swift. You're bringing back some talent there at the running back position, of course. You're going to have a real young wide receiver core. Man, I don't know, but it's going to be fun to keep up with it. But don't fret. Georgia is still extremely talented. You don't be in the top 3 years in a row in recruiting and the number 1 class, number 2 class, number 3 class. And right now with the top 3 class as well, I believe. So we'll see. It's going to definitely have to be about coaching next year, though, all right? But as always, it's your boy Murph, Top Billing Sports. I'm out, man. Peace.